There is a podcast about an island in the North Atlantic where people have been looking for an incredible treasure for more than 200 years.
Hello, and welcome back to Could It Be?
An Oak Island podcast.
We are your hosts, Deidre and Dustin White.
Hey.
Hey.
Oh, man, rough week, huh?
Oh, man. I feel a little bit more human today.
That's good.
So I'm excited to be up and at 'em bright and early with you.
Yes, we've been trying to get the podcast put out a
Yep.
little bit earlier than in the past.
Yes.
You know, on a little bit more of a regular schedule.
Thursdays, we've been doing pretty good at
We've
that.
been doing pretty good about getting it recorded on Thursdays and put out, you know, later in the day on Thursday. But we've had a little bit of a monkey wrench this past week. Where everybody in our house got sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, Deidre treasure hunted too hard last week. And then she got everybody sick.
It happens to the best of us. I bet you it happens out on Oak Island.
I bet it does.
I bet people, like, maybe the research center is actually like, come on in, get some hot cocoa before you freeze and get a cold center.
It's like a little island urgent care.
Yeah, it's probably got an island urgent care in the back. So they don't get sick all the time. That's a long time to be out there.
It is a long time, but hopefully they don't get sick. Hopefully we're done being sick and we can just enjoy Oak Island and get the podcast out on a more timely manner, right?
Right. So I apologize if my voice breaks every now and then. Maybe I'll fix on post editing.
Yeah, well, she got me sick too, so like, if I have to reach for a glass of water to drink every so often, you know why.
Bear with us. Thank you.
But so episode 12, Fortified,
was
a fun one.
Wow.
I enjoyed it a lot.
This one was jam-packed. We got a lot to unload here.
Yes, and then, I'm jumping to the end right now, real quick.
That was quick. Jeez.
And then next time on The Curse of Oak Island,
man.
next week is going to be insane, right?
How many times did we just rewatch that one portion?
A lot.
Yeah, a lot.
And it was something, like, it's going to be crazy. So I'm excited for it. Who isn't, right?
I'm excited.
Classic Oak Island.
Classic Oak
or something
Island.
Like that.
I feel like Classic Oak Island destroyed me this week with getting sick. I'll blame the island, even though it's like on the other side.
Even though it's over 3,000 miles away, okay.
Just because it's a 4-hour time difference for me, I mean, it can still affect me.
Sure. Okay, so they started off this week's episode, Fortified, with surveying the aftermath of Hurricane Dorian.
Yes.
We had Rick and Scott kind of going around and checking out what happened and see what kind of damages they had, right?
Mm-hmm. They start by checking out the swamp.
Yep.
And Rick saying, and Scott, 2 to 3 days, before they can really get out there. They have to kind of do over and
pump out all that water.
All the water they just pumped out.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bummer because you have to keep pumps constantly going.
Yeah.
In order to keep it drained.
Yeah, well, I mean, whatever it takes.
Whatever.
Let's get it drained again. Get back out in there, start digging again, right?
Yeah, we got to let Billy get in there and start tearing it up.
Tearing it up.
Because we got a lot to see.
Yeah. Hey, on a side note, real quick, did you read the message from our friend Kimberly in Nova Scotia that she got the trading cards to Dave Blankenship?
Yes.
Right?
Yes, and apparently he liked them.
Yeah. Nice. Thanks, Kimberly.
Yeah, I love sending them to those who are on the cards.
And what about what's happening with Booze and Bourbon?
Yes, apparently they're going to be on TV doing some ghost hunting.
Yeah, on the Netflix show Haunted. So congratulations, you guys.
Awesome.
It's our friends Jen and Kimberly over at Booze and Bourbon Podcast. We were guests on their podcast a few months ago. So we just want to say, hey, you guys are awesome. Keep up the good work and congrats.
Yep, they're super close to the island.
And they are really close to the island. They can almost see it from the front porch. No?
I don't know. You'd have to ask them.
Or Kimberly, she lives close. All right, so anyway, that was side note over, but yeah, they're surveying the damage on the island. Gotta regroup, plan what to do, and go forward. So they're gonna pump the water out of the swamp, and then they go into the war room, right?
War room.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what happened in the war room?
Well, Craig shows up via teleconference.
But everybody else, I think, is around the table. I think that was like a jam-packed war room.
Yeah, they were pretty stoked. So Craig is up there to tell him about some dendro. We like us some dendro.
Yeah, we weren't sure last week if it was going to be dendro or if it was going to be some kind of other carbon dating.
Yeah, the C14.
For the wood that's in the money pit. We weren't sure which wood it was, but it was wood that they had excavated out of Smith's Cove in the bump out.
Which wood it was, which a woodchuck if a woodcut could chuck dendro wood.
Sure. Okay.
Anyways, so Craig says it was wood from a red spruce, and dendro dated it around 1741.
That's getting back there.
Whoa.
They're getting closer and closer to that 1701 stone found by the Restalls, you know?
Exactly.
Like they are going backwards
with
in time.
solid evidence. It's, if you're getting closer and closer to the date on the stone, then you're less likely to call the 1701 stone a hoax. I'm just saying.
It's true. So something that like boggles my mind with this is the older wood is further out from the shore. Why?
Yeah.
Because you think that that would be like the last thing they built onto this wharf or slipway, whatever this ended up being. You think they would like work their way toward that, and the stuff closer to the shore would be older.
Well, they probably never thought anybody was actually going to get that far out to that wood again. And if you're trying to, say, cover up your tracks, and there's...
I'm just saying, like, what if it's not part of the treasure hunt or whatever? Like, what if it isn't from depositors or whatever? Like, I don't know. It's just that the slipway, big giant dock with the wharf, and it's just weird that it's not all built at the same time. Like, it's separated by decades. And it's weird that, I don't know. It's just weird.
If you lost
go ahead.
a piece of wood that far out, or, like, it went down or whatever. I don't know. Maybe if it's further in...
Are you suggesting that it might not have been connected to anything and is just something that was on the ocean floor and got buried over time?
Well, what I was thinking is that potentially what actually doesn't work is I was thinking everything closer to the shore they like covered up really well, and then the stuff further out they're like nobody's gonna get out there and like test it with tree ring dating. Just leave it there. That's fine. We've got enough stuff to bury in the swamp to hide for those who've come before us.
That was the furthest thing from their mind, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Exactly. I highly doubt that they were thinking, hey, I bet in the future, if you count these rings on a log, that they'll be able to find our secrets. I just don't think that's the way the curse thinks.
Yeah. Well, you're right.
I know.
Okay. So, you know what was really great about this part of the show?
What?
Craig. Like when he was doing telling them the data, like he could not conceal his grin for nothing.
Oh, it was fabulous.
He's like, I'm going to try to hold my smile back, but I can't.
This is kind of interesting.
Yeah,
it is. I wish you were here in person so I could screen capture that wonderful smile of him like being mischievous.
Yeah, it was good.
It was good. I loved
really
it. Good. We know it's going to be good when he gets exciting. Gets excited.
Yes. Yeah, it was fun though. And then he one of my favorite parts of this little segment here is when they go from talking about it around the table. It goes to like a little interview kind of thing with just Rick and Marty. And Marty says, well, knock me upside the head with a fish. And I was like, wow, that's a good one, Marty.
That's a great clip, first off. And second, I don't want to knock him upside the head with a fish. And is that a saying?
It is now. I'm going to start saying, that's going to catch on. If it hasn't already, it might be an old thing, but it's new again.
Knock me upside
Knock me upside the
the
head
fish.
with a fish. Oh my gosh, that was so funny.
So we have Garyisms, we have Martyisms,
We have
and
Terryisms,
Terryisms. Hold
yeah.
the phone.
Hello, Dolly.
Hello, Dolly. Hold the phone. Hello, boys and girls.
Yeah.
Okay.
So everybody's excited about the dendro. Everybody's excited about the tree ring data. You know, the stuff coming in. So everybody's just excited.
Well,
But
yeah, go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say. Then Marty also suggests that it could be some kind of connection to Chip Reed's theory about this having some kind of connection to the French fortress at Louisburg.
I was really keen on that. I just think there's a lot of practical things going on there. I liked his way of thinking. I'd love to talk to Chip sometime.
That would be fun. It would be great. But I don't know. His theory is very interesting. I love how it connects to the Alex Lagina doppelganger,
Duke Donvie.
Duke Donvie. You know, so yeah. I mean,
Yeah. He has a lot of names, the Duke. Yeah.
Okay, let me see if I can remember them off the top of my head. Okay, ready? Jean-Baptiste, Louis, Frederick. I think there's one more. Something de Rochefoucauld.
And he probably has like one of those little inserts, also known as, or like Uncle Bob. You know?
Bob?
I don't know. He has so many names. Let's just add one in there. Like everybody's like, I'm really tired of saying your whole name, and everybody's got a crazy uncle.
That's why they call him the Duke Donvie. they shorten it to that. They don't have to say, Jean-Baptiste, Louis, Frederick, whatever the other one I'm missing, de Rochefoucauld every time.
Or Uncle Bob.
Hey, you know what? That reminds me of something else. I know you've never read Harry Potter.
I tried. I really did. I even
is-
got the audiobook.
Which is pretty sad because I can't believe you don't. The audiobooks are fantastic. Anyway, I've read them.
And I started at the beginning, like you said.
I've read them dozens of times.
Oh, I know.
Okay, so it's just funny because Albus Dumbledore, his full name is almost like the Duke Donvie. His name is Albus. Let me see, what's his second name? Wulfric. He has some. I can't remember off the top of my head, but one of his middle names is Brian Dumbledore. Yeah, I just can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, I don't know. He has like 3 or 4 middle names.
Wow.
Kind of like the Duke Donvie. So, anyways, yeah. So then, what do they decide to do with this information?
Field trip.
Field trip.
And of course, during this whole discussion in the war room, Doug and all his wicked smart knowledge chimes in and gives us the whole thing, and we get our flashback about the what do I want to say? The list of all the stuff that's supposed to be hidden on Oak Island, the manifest, and
Yeah, the ship log.
yeah, the ship log.
That theory, yeah. I love that theory.
I do too.
It's one of my favorites.
And it connects to the doppelganger.
Yeah.
It connects to the fortress.
Yeah, it's just like, it's too good to be true, though.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It's exactly what they're looking for.
Yeah, and I like it.
Yeah, I love it too.
That's good because I liked it first. Okay, so field trip. Of course, Doug's stoked to go. Of course, Rick's gonna go. And they're like, let's go check it out. Let's talk to Sarah McGinnis. Say what?
Okay, her name is spelled differently than Daniel McGinnis. Okay?
I don't care. She was like trying to conceal her gold or something.
Her identity?
Her identity.
Was she some kind of superhero? Yes, she is a historian superhero.
So, for example, people's last names change over periods of time. Like Shepherd used to be spelled differently, which was my maiden name, and now it's spelled as it is now.
Yeah, but I've done my genealogy, right?
Yeah.
And my last name is White, or our last name is White, but before it used to be D White, DEWHYTE instead of WHITE. So I hear you.
So yeah, I mean, same thing. There's the lineage, and it changes over time, especially if you're trying to make it easier for someone. Mr. Uncle Bob Rochefoucauld. Okay, sometimes you need to make your name easier for people.
I guess so.
Anyways, they go to Fort Louisburg.
Yep, fortress.
Fortress of Louisburg, which the construction was completed in 1740.
Oh, I don't know.
Is that right?
I missed the
It was
construction
started
part.
before
I thought
then.
it was way before then.
Well, it was definitely started before then.
Yeah.
I'm going ish. Okay, 1700s.
Okay. Yeah,
That's a long
1700s.
period of time, but
Ish.
And which is interesting that they had the vast network of tunnels underneath
something
it.
that caught my ear when I was listening to it was they said that what remains is only about 1/5 of what the fortress was.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, and it's pretty big.
Yeah.
How did they lose? Man, that thing is like well fortified.
Yeah, it's a fortress that's been well fortified. Well,
Yeah, I mean,
every fortress has a weak point.
maybe it's that weird cross tunnel.
I think
that's probably the strongest point because it was never destroyed and found at the time, right?
it means it wasn't used,
Okay.
I guess.
True that.
But the cross, I mean, man, we haven't even got to that
I know.
yet.
I
so
jumped in.
you're just skipping ahead, yo.
Yeah, but Rick is like kind of odd. He's in awe.
Oh, I thought you said Rick is kind of odd. I was like,
That too.
well, that's not very nice.
Hey, if you, I don't know. I don't know if you're odd or genius if you could convince your brother to spend millions and millions of dollars on this project.
Both.
Both. That's okay.
I've been described as both.
We're odd a little bit too.
Okay, maybe no one's ever actually called me a genius, but that's okay.
You're a genius.
Thanks. I win. Okay, they get there. I mean, I'd be in awe. This place is amazing. Like you said, you're seeing all this stonework, these really big walls, the tunnels under the fortress, and all this stuff that they did back then. I mean, obviously not a lot of the fort is still original,
but some of it is, and they showed what could have been done by workers with motivation back, even predating the discovery of the money pit. That's what it all boils down to. So, but before they go and look at, the network of, well, I guess it's not a network of tunnels. Just before they go look at the tunnels and, the makings of the fortifications and whatever, they go to the chapel first, and they, because Doug wants to see the Duke Dombey's grave because he is buried there.
Well, there's been a lot of conversation about him. I would want to see where he was.
If you're there, why not, right?
Right? When in Rome or when in Lewisburg, go and check it out. We know he wasn't originally buried there.
No, he was buried in the Halifax Harbor, and the English in 1749, I guess, moved his remains to Lewisburg. So
makes sense.
Yeah,
it's a good place to move him to, I guess. I mean, not like I had a say in the matter.
Yeah, he wasn't he hadn't died that much prior to that. I think he passed away in 1746. So yeah, I mean, move him to the fortress of his people, I guess. The French.
Yes.
So, yeah. I mean, it was just a fun trip. It was fun watching Rick be so in awe, not odd, okay? Even though he was odd. Okay.
Just go.
Yeah, it was fun, right?
I have no doubt it was fun. I agree. It was a blast.
Doug really hammered in to Sarah, the historian, why they're so interested in the Rochefoucauld name, you know? And we kind of already touched on that, but going back, ship's log, digging a pit on this island to put away treasure, because they must have known this battle was coming where they were gonna be breached, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just interesting history. Which, guess what? History Channel, we got some history, got some real good history in this one.
Yeah, and what's really interesting too is, so Doug mentions why they're interested, but it's one of the reasons they want to see as many of the original works as possible, because what they're looking at is a time in which, potentially what people could have done then, right? So then they move on to, what are they? Where they hide the people.
Casemates.
Casemates. It's like a trapper keeper.
Yeah, so I have it written here in my notes. Doug and Rick observed a drainage system within the casemates that are embedded in inside the walls of the fortress.
So, a stone drain system.
Could it be?
I think that those stones, personally, in my opinion, the way they are kind of laid reminds me of some of that swamp activity. Just saying.
You mean the paved
areas?
The stuff they're looking at this episode in the swamp.
Mm-hmm. Just the way the rocks are laid, I don't think that what they've pulled up is a drain, but
it looks way more elegant in Lewisburg, like way more finished. But
it's not under swamp.
I know, yeah, I know, but maybe that wasn't under swamp at one time too, right? Mm-hmm. But they probably didn't need it to look pretty or immaculate or polished stones or anything on Oak Island, because it was there for a purpose, to hide the treasure and to get out, not leave an arrow pointing, dig here, you know?
Yeah, you want it to blend in a little bit better.
So, I mean, I can totally understand why it doesn't look like that, or even close to. In my opinion, I didn't see much of a resemblance. Like, I saw stone, you know, and that's about as far as it went.
That's fair.
It looked like the drain, you know, with like the little chutes, you know, in the fortress looked, you know, way more advanced, way more. But that could have been just because they were trying to cover their steps, you know, cover their tracks over on Oak Island.
Versus fleeing the fort in order to hide a treasure or whatever their valuables and important things are.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun to learn about. And, hey, you never know. It could be directly connected. And wouldn't that be something?
Could it be?
Could be.
Okay, but what about when she mentions one of the only original workings that are still there, the counter mine tunnel?
Yeah, that one, the one shaped like a cross. That's
underground in swampy area.
And it's 180 feet long.
And it's still there.
It's not straight down like the money pit. But, I mean, that doesn't mean if you dig 180 feet down and then there's a 180 foot long tunnel beneath I'm guarantee it's not that big, right? Mm-hmm. They would have found something by now if it was a gigantic, enormous, like, cavity down there. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I mean, it proves that they can go to a wet area, dig, build a tunnel system. Heck yeah, right?
Well, obviously it wasn't as deep as what we expect we're going to see on Oak Island, but that just proves that what's even more difficult is to build it closer to the surface of a swampy area, right? Mm-hmm. And it can be done. Mm-hmm. And the fact, like, she shows them some pictures, and yeah, there's some flooding and such in there. There's also bats, so they don't get to go in there. But even the countermine tunnels look elegant compared to just what I think the tunnel's going to look like under there.
It was built for different purposes, though, you know? So I think Oak Island was probably done as quick as they could do, you know, and while still being able to get the job done.
Yes.
You know? Because if you do it as quick as possible, you're not going to be able... things could collapse, you know, things could be really messed up, whatever. That could happen if you go slow and steady, too. But they didn't build it for the world to see. I mean, this fortress, they wanted everybody to see their might, their power. Don't mess with us. You can't breach this.
Not the countermine tunnel. They don't want them to see it.
Sorry, I'm talking about the whole thing in general.
Okay.
Like, this whole fortress, though, it's like it's a statement. Like, don't mess with us. You can't breach us. Go away.
Yeah.
On Oak Island, they don't want any of that attention. You know, they're not saying they wanted everybody to forget about it. Right. So I don't know. I'm just saying, like, in my mind, I can understand how it could be connected, and I can understand how it could be tied in.
Okay. So what was what is your opinion on the fact that it is shaped like a cross?
Meh. It was probably just practical for them. I don't think... I like how Doug went directly to, oh, we have a cross on Oak Island, like Nolan's cross. I mean, okay. I don't know. I just think it's a kind of a basic geometric shape, like...
Seriously?
2 straight lines. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Back it up.
Okay. School me.
Okay. It's not that practical of a design, first off.
Okay.
But a cross is, as you probably have recognized in cathedrals, oftentimes are shaped like a cross. Many are.
Sure.
Okay. And
yeah, I know for a fact that Mary Queen of the World Cathedral in Montreal is, because it's part of a treasure hunt I'm working on. But yeah, it's definitely shaped like a cross. Yep. Go.
But going back, so very, very far. I'm not even going to get into the whole history of architecture and churches and the different, anyways. But they're shaped like a cross and they're laid out in a specific way.
Okay.
Typically, the cross that is the church, it lays on a east-west axis. Okay. Axis, not access. But and your entrance is at the west end, which is the end that is like the longer portion.
Sure.
Okay. And then, which is interesting to me because looking at the Fort Lewisburg, the door is at that end. Okay. Now, I did notice it wasn't on an east-west axis. Axis. I'm really having problems this morning. But
it's okay. You've been sick.
I went back to Nolan's Cross and know how it lays?
Tell me.
Primarily on an east-west axis.
Good.
Okay.
Cool.
So if we were to follow the idea that it was laid out as a church, then your entrance would be at that west end, which is just on the other side of the swamp. It would have like passed right through it. Maybe near the eye, if you will. But also, so churches that point, what is it? It's in the middle, is known as the nave. Okay. The nave.
Like the belly button?
As in navel.
My button. I still got my belly button.
As in navy.
Okay.
Okay. This is why on the inside of churches, when you look up, usually you've got like those big beams.
Sure.
Okay. Because they are constructed to look like the inside hull of a ship. Okay. So we've got a lot of ship connections on Oak Island. We've got maybe a cross, maybe this whole thing, maybe that's supposed to be an indication of a church. Many churches used to, well, a lot of churches, when they were unable to meet publicly, met in homes or whatever secretly. And later, churches were built on top of these homes directly. It's kind of like, we're hidden, now you can see us. What if Nolan's Cross is just like an indication of what's underneath? Maybe that Nolan's Cross is an outline of like a countermine looking tunnel.
Boom.
Goes the dynamite. Just some things to think about.
Yeah, gives me something to think about.
I know, it's a tangent. It's a bit of a tangent.
It's good.
But
the way you explain it, though, it makes me... Because, like, before you started explaining it, I'm just like, meh. And now I'm like, So...
But there's a really long history of these cathedrals being shaped like crosses.
Yeah, I hear you.
And the entrance is at the narthex, which is at the west end. So maybe our entrance is at the west end, at the bottom, where you'd come in and then walk in through the nave.
Wow.
Maybe that's why there's ship parts in the swamp. Maybe they're using a hull of a ship on the inside, underground.
And it's the church, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Rabbit hole. You're welcome.
That's pretty good. Is the nave kind of like the Noive?
The Noive. We're not going to Oz.
I like
But
that.
I mean, we could be.
That's a fun little take on it. Thank you for thank you for that.
You're welcome. That's all I got. If we didn't lose everybody on my tangent, we can carry on now.
Let's carry on. That was good though. So they talk about the drainage system in this fortress.
Yes.
And how it was, I guess, used to fill up the moat.
Yeah, she said it led to the dry moat.
Okay. Yeah, that's fun. So it was fun hearing Clotworthy jump in there. He's like, drains or whatever. You know,
a stone drain
and,
system.
Well, and he's like, he just makes connections it's like the French drains on Oak Island.
The French and their drains. They're all about it.
Yeah. So I don't know. The whole field trip was, I think, pretty successful, as far as storytelling and as far as getting us information to make us think a little deeper about things. So good job, you guys.
Like underground?
Yes.
With tunnels shaped like a cross?
Yes.
A counter mine?
Yes.
Like a booby trap?
No. Yes. I don't know. Sure.
Yes.
Yeah. So good on Doug. Good on Rick.
Good on Doug. Good on Rick. Thank you for
taking
us on the field trip.
On your field trip. So,
all right. You want to talk about Jack, Peter, and Gary?
Pete, and Gary?
Yep. The trio heading out to Lot 27.
Yeah. I mean, they're metal detecting.
Yes.
It's just so funny because Gary's such an expert and he knows everything there is
all
to
the
know
things.
about it. He's just sweeping and you hear bump bump or whatever with the metal detector, and for me, I'm like, oh good, they're gonna go dig something up. He's like, man, junk. Don't eat it.
Just because it beeps doesn't mean it's not a pop tab.
He just knows everything though.
He knows the things.
Just knows. And it's just funny to watch him to do that kind of stuff. It's just funny. So.
Oh man. Well, let's see here. They get a hit. First hit is a piece of cut lead.
Could it be just like the lead found in Smith's Cove in the bump out and the lead cross?
No, actually, it's very different.
Yeah, it is. But it had to do with maybe military, right? So
it'd be one of what he's saying with the little knob or whatever was on it.
Little
nubbin. That it would have been potentially one of the pieces cut off when they were pouring lead into molds to make musket balls.
Makes sense.
And Robert Clotworthy jumped straight to a musket ball. And I'm thinking, wait, that's not what Gary said.
Yeah, that's pretty
It's
good.
a piece from making a musket ball. Maybe there's a musket ball nearby.
Yeah, so this is the same lot that they found that chisel thing on, right?
I think so.
And
yeah.
so, I mean, there's artifacts to be found. So, and they just had this big storm. So, why not? I was kind of hoping he'd do a little bit more around the coast, the coastline, because I think, I bet you this is not all filmed chronologically. So this could have been 2 months before the storm even hit. And we just haven't. We're saving all that other good stuff for later in the season.
Yeah.
But knowing what they tell us and how these storms stir up stuff, it would have been fun to see a little bit of activity from that, So to me, I was a little disappointed that they went to lot 27 on this episode, but I know that it's work that needs to be done and stuff that needs to be shown to us. But
well, they were down near the water.
Okay, at one point they were. They didn't start near the water.
No, but you got to park somewhere.
Yeah. For me, I wanted them to be like out in Smith's Cove and be like, all this, water stirred stuff up.
At Smith's Cove, they've been a little busy.
They have been.
They got to redrain and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
It's okay.
They'll get there.
So they do get another hit, though, which seems exciting.
A two-way repeatable signal.
Could it be?
That's what he wants.
And it was down pretty deep.
Mm-hmm. And what was it?
It was an encrusted conglomerate.
There you go.
That's the technical term.
Yeah, well, I wanted you to say that word, not me. I don't know if I can pronounce it right.
I can't even say axis today.
Yeah, conglomerate. I could say it. Never mind.
Good job.
I'm good.
So it was encrusted, and
I I put in my notes, it could be anything with an exclamation point.
But he was saying that like the salvage divers love finding stuff like that because something like this is say, a piece of iron, and because of the salt water and such, they get all encrusted. And as you clean it up, there's things like gold coins or there's some booty in there.
BOOTY.
T-Y. So,
oh man,
it could be fantastic. Once they clean it up, maybe the gold coins come out and we get a Gary Gold dance.
Nope, because they clean it up and it's an axe, or they don't clean it up.
We haven't cleaned it up yet.
But what they can recognize is what all
they
this stuff got
turn
encrusted.
it over.
All this stuff that got encrusted was on top of this axe head.
Most likely. They said an axe, potentially a weapon. It's got a lot of crusty on it still. Mm-hmm. So once they completely uncrust it, maybe there's a gold coin in there. You don't know. Let them uncrust it. I think they got to take it to Kelly, right?
Kelly? Who's Kelly?
Kelly's the one that cleaned up the button. The silver one and stabilized it. I'm sure Gary knows how to clean up.
I thought you meant Carmen Legg, the blacksmith. I'm like, his name's not Kelly.
No, it's not.
Yeah, but they should see him about it too, once it is cleaned up.
Yeah, because it's iron.
Well, Gary's excited about it. He's like 1700s, baby. Right?
Yes, that is very true.
Peter asks him if it could be older, and Gary says it could be.
Let's find out, man.
Yeah. Then I finished my notes on that little part by saying that Clotworthy explains a rigging axe, theorizes it could be connected to the wharf in Smith's Cove. And I'm like, whoa, that's a leap. Thanks, Clotworthy, though.
Well, I mean, everything can be connected. That's just the way the cookie crumbles.
It is the way the cookie crumbles. Breadcrumbs. Across the island. That's how it crumbles.
Encrusted breadcrumbs. You see what I did there? Very clever.
I guess.
Clever of me.
Of course.
Okay. No, let's hop over the swamp.
Swamp.
Swamp it up. There's a lot of people at the swamp. Mm-hmm. Like just throughout the day.
As there should be.
Oh, well, yeah, it's kind of a big focus this year.
Mm-hmm. So what are they doing out in the swamp?
Well, we got Rick and Alex. Digging. Alex gets put in charge for a while. Billy's digging the paved area because we're still referring to it as the paved area, not the graveled area.
So it's funny. There's like, they were so excited about that. And then I felt like they got disappointed. There was like a big 180 where they're looking at it and Craig was like, yeah, it's not what I thought it would be. And now all of a sudden they're like, yeah, oh, this is something again. You know, it's just, I guess, keep digging. Even if it's something that appears unexciting, dig a little deeper. You might find some more good stuff, right?
Well, it's just because it's not what you picture it to be, I mean, doesn't mean it's not something, right? So they keep working on said paved area. And then I think Dr. Ian Spooner gives them another 180 to be all stoked about it again. So, yeah, it's an emotional ride here. Right?
Yeah. And I don't know, they get lots of opinions rendered about this thing.
Everybody's got an opinion. We have an opinion. They have an opinion.
Yeah, I mean.
Did you just call him Carmen Spooner?
No, I said Dr. Spooner.
Oh, okay.
Okay, fine. I'll just call him the Swamp Doctor.
Swamp Doctor.
Swamp Dr. Spooner, okay?
There you go.
He's out there, renders an opinion. They drag Laird out. They drag Terry out. Yeah. Everybody has to take a look at this thing.
Yeah, Terry's like, hey, I gotta see what's going on. And everybody agrees, Terry and Laird both render that opinion that you're talking about.
Yeah, Terry considers it man-made.
He didn't see a reason for it to be there naturally.
Exactly.
And Dr. Spooner agrees with that sentiment. And
yeah, well, I wrote in my notes here that Rick and Dr. Spooner think it's very strange looking.
Yes, it is.
I also wrote that Dr. Spooner seemed a little hesitant at that time to say that it was man-made. That was like the day prior, I think, because then he came back. But.
Well, if this is his first real time at a discovery, you're going to be a little hesitant when you haven't seen this stuff keep coming up, right? You're going to be like, what in the world? Like, how is this? Could this possibly be a natural formation? He's not going to jump straight to typical Oak Island. He's kind of racking his brain.
He's got to be hesitant. He has his own reputation to think about, too.
Yeah, and the colleges. So, it's crazy.
Yeah. And Laird renders his opinion, says it does not appear natural.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
That's good stuff. That's what you want to hear. You want to hear that was put there for a mysterious purpose, and we need to figure it out.
Well, and the hole that they're digging to show the rocks, right? It just keeps filling in with water, and poor Billy's like trying to get stuff away for them to look. And then eventually Billy just turns into his own wash plant. He's using all the yellow water to wash
that
stuff
yellow
off.
water.
Ooh,
I have a note about that yellow water.
Yeah,
what is it?
I'm sure you do.
Trying to find it. Right
it
now.
was not of a beautiful color.
Yeah, well, I wrote that it looked like baby poop.
Oh yeah, that was my first
We've
thought.
seen it, and that's exactly what it looks like sometimes. It is yucky.
Yeah,
like that watery yellow.
I was like, is that sulfur?
Slightly muddy.
Is that just like, ooh, that's not a color I want to lean
It's
into.
pretty gross.
Yeah, even Rick didn't jump into the water. Like he wasn't in.
Yeah, well, I can see, if I just saw that and that was like this is my first time tuning in to the Curse of Oak Island, I see that and I hear Marty talking about that fetid swamp and I'm like, yeah, man, that is nasty.
That
dude.
is fetid, yo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's no bueno.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was fun when Rick was saying that he had done a lot of stonework in his younger days, and he just wonders who made this and why. Because he knows,
why.
like in his soul, he knows, and with all the opinions rendered, that is not natural. Somebody put it there for a reason. So he wants the who and the why, and he wants all the other W's too, and the H. How?
Oh, I was like, in the H. And then, after everybody says it's unnatural and Billy's being a wash plant, he's like, I'm going to get a pump so we can just start
Let's
emptying
get to work, right?
this gross stuff out and not make Billy do all the work of scooping out water that's going to keep pouring in because we're in a swamp.
Yeah, another thing that the swamp doctor said was that it was he then considered it a manipulated site after he had, he probably went home that day, said to himself, oh, okay, I gotta do this. I gotta get the courage to say this on TV because this is what it is.
Yeah,
and I just don't want to, I don't want it to like bring me down or anything.
He's got to put his neck out there if he truly thinks.
I just gotta say it's a manipulated site. So
yeah,
stamp on that.
He thought at it. Yeah, he got a stamp of approval or disapproval.
Yeah, that was like. Marty was on the phone when they were
when they called
that,
him.
Yeah, they were standing on the edge of that area, looking into the layers of rock that they had found, and Marty also they asked after that, well, what did Laird think? And Rick told him that Laird thinks it's man-made. So that was just a big moment. Like,
yeah, if
you can find stuff that had been never documented before, never discovered, why is anybody ever going to look in this weird swamp, right?
Why would they think there was a reason for someone to?
Yeah.
And if someone did, that, would they be long gone by then? Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah.
It's interesting because, like you said, they call Marty after they send him some pictures, and he wants to know each of the experts' opinions. He doesn't just want one, because he's the facts guy. Yeah. He wants to know all the different opinions. So we already know, like you said, that Dr. Spooner called it a manipulated site, but as Marty's like, but why? To what end? Because this looks not like what we expected.
Yeah.
We expected a swamp brick road, and we got a swamp pad.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So he goes on to suggest that if we look at it from, like, the eye of the swamp, And then you would have, it would line up to the pad and then line up to the peninsula, which they're standing on.
Well, what he said about the eye of the swamp is that could be the excavation site. And how this pad could have been, or this paved area could have been like a work surface. And it could have been where the island, theoretically could have been in two. That could have been an inlet between the two, and they were doing work at the eye. And so boats would be able to pull in and have that paved area as a workstation of sorts. So.
Which I thought was very interesting and a good idea.
If you have him saying that and he's the swamp doctor, gotta take that I don't want to even take that with a grain of salt.
That's like a whole bottle of salt or no salt.
No, that's those one of those Morton salt canisters at the store. That's got a lot of salt in it. The 5-pound bag is what I'm talking about. That's all. I take it with that much salt.
Okay, but a grain of salt your salt's supposed to be your speculation, right?
Yeah.
And we're saying that if he's saying it,
carries a lot of weight. 5 pounds of salt. Okay, you hear me?
I hear you.
Compared to 1 grain, that's how much weight it holds.
And when you look at the eye of the swamp from overhead, you've got the little circle, but then you've got this
little
flare at the top and the bottom. I'm wondering, is there like a drainage system or something that's connecting? Because we do see on the next time on, it proving that the eye is connected to the paved area.
Yeah.
So there could be something coming off of the eye that leads to that work surface. So maybe there's like a little path. Maybe it looks more like the drainage system we saw at Lewisburg, or something that's easier to move from the eye to that pad if it's a working area. I think those 2 little pieces that come off, the flares as you call them, seem kind of
interesting.
Suspicious.
Okay.
Suspicious is the word I will use.
Suspicious, dear Watson?
Elementary, my dear Watson.
Okay. All right.
I'm just saying. Yeah. That's near the west end of Nolan's Cross, where the entrance might be at the Narthex.
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, sweet.
Where you go up the nave that looks like a hole.
Wow, look at you.
Where ships.
It's almost like you're putting pieces together of something.
Of a puzzle? We have a lot of Oak Island pieces.
Yeah, hey, save some of this so that we can ask them when we go to Oak Island.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we haven't said anything about that yet.
Yeah, we mentioned it on our
live stream.
Our live stream before with our pregame.
Yeah, we have those of you that haven't tuned in or don't know, we have a weekly pregame live stream. It's not a podcast. It's just us chatting with people in the chat about Oak Island and other stuff.
Yeah, because we're getting stoked and pumped for the next episode.
And that happens on Facebook, on our Facebook page, an hour before the Curse of Oak Island starts. Or if there's a Drilling Down episode, an hour before that.
Yes. And it's a fun way for us to chat with you guys, and we all sit around and speculate what could possibly be coming next. Because that's what we do. We speculate.
And we have fun.
It's a good time had by all.
Yeah, so anyway, we're going to Oak Island in May.
Yay! So excited.
So thanks to there's people making this happen for us. So we want to thank those people. And you know who you are. They don't want us to share, but thank you, people.
Wow.
We love people.
We love all the peoples.
All the people. So
and
you know who you are, and thank you.
Yes. So we are looking forward to making some fantastic content out there for you. So
you've already got bugs in ears, right? Of people that are frequent guests on the island.
Yes. So we're working on it.
Okay.
And we will do what we need to in order to do some awesome stuff.
All we do is awesome stuff.
All we do is awesome stuff. I'll make sure we got the cameras, the videos, I'm so excited for the
We're
tour.
gonna have the Bobby Dazzlers.
I don't think anyone's going to give me a Bobby Dazzler.
No, I mean, you gonna find one while you're there? You're gonna be like, hey, what's that? And you're gonna be like walking around, and you're gonna be like, oh, what's this rock with all these strange carvings on it?
I was going to say, like, my very own pea rock.
I don't think you're going pee out there.
No, I am not.
I'd be more likely, and it's probably not happening to either, you know?
No, I don't think they're going to let you just wander off during the tour to, hey, let me go see if I can find anything cool.
It would be fun to explore, though.
Oh, man. I would love that. I want to sit at the war room table.
I know you do.
So cool. But
we're working on it.
That being said, so if any of our listeners are going to be out there in May, be fun to say hello.
Yeah, I think our tour is on the 16th.
Yeah.
And we're planning on doing the boat tour with Tony.
Yes, the day before.
The day prior.
Prior. We're also going to do a boat tour.
Heck yeah, we are. Why not?
I was about to book it, and then I became very sick.
Poor DJ.
I got to get on there.
Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I mean, we're going, and it's for you and for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's definitely for us in there, too.
Yeah. So we're stoked to to have people that can make that happen for us and to make that happen.
Yeah.
Yay. So thanks again, you guys.
Yeah, seriously, you guys rock.
All right, so I think that's everything about the episode. We want to talk about next time on the Curse
I was going to say, what about our next time on, which was loaded with stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the thing they opened it with was my favorite thing. I was like, yes, 90.
Oh, I was like, the
Stone.
Dartmouth Heritage House? Yes. So they go back to the museum.
Yes.
And
with digging equipment. With
Billy the Digger. Yo.
Dig,
dig,
Billy.
dig is what we like to do.
That's what he likes to do.
That's what he likes to do. And they make it look like they found a big flat stone.
Please find the 90-foot stone.
There's no way it's that easy.
I don't know. Rick is like, that's the number one thing he wants to find.
Well, yeah, that's why he's out there.
And I'm like, yeah, Rick, that's the most important piece, because it could be a message written on a stone from the people that hit stuff, Like, yeah.
Could also be a recipe written in code.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
What else we got? Work in the swamp.
Yes.
Gary says that the eye of the swamp is connected to the paved area. Whoa.
So the flares connected to the paved area. That's my guess.
The flare bone's connected to the paved bone.
Paved bone's connected to the
tunnel bone. I don't know.
Peninsula.
Sure.
Bone.
Yep. Then we have Gary and Jack are metal detecting and find a pickaxe head.
A pickaxe head.
Gary calls it an old tunneling tool.
Potentially.
Well, that's what your little diggers were using.
I know.
Hi-ho. They have little pickaxes. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're going to go get Bobby Dazzlers. Like, that's their whole goal. That's what they do all day. So I guess if you...
do, yo.
Yeah. It's funny because in Snow White, when they're, like, getting all the jewels and stuff out of the mine, there's all different kinds, which is weird because you wouldn't find all the same ones in a tunnel. I guess maybe they're on Oak Island. Snow White was based around Oak Island. Done.
Wow.
Okay.
Solved it.
But all the gems that come out of the walls in Snow White, do you notice they're all like perfectly cut?
Yeah.
They're cut stones.
Yeah. And then
they're not raw.
Dopey puts them in his eyes. Yeah. Yeah.
They're so big. He's got them in his eyes.
And he puts a pointy end in. That's just weird.
Ow.
Like, come on, Dopey.
At least
we know your name is
way.
Dopey, but come on.
Yeah. He's my favorite.
Maybe they cut the end so it wasn't all so sharp, and then you could wear them as. Never mind. All right. So yeah. I mean, then they found. I guess they found proof that the paved walkway or whatever was man-made. Further proof. It looked like they had maybe found something weird that was between those rocks, and they had Dr. Spooner move the rock, and it kind of fell down.
Yeah, it fell behind.
It could have been like a vial or a bottle or something.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like, if it was, like, I mean, it couldn't be glass, right?
It could be. I mean, it would have lasted a long time. What'd I tell you? It's a message in a bottle. It's in my opinion.
It's the 90-foot stones decrypted, right?
Yeah, it's the cipher text, to decrypt the 90-foot stone. And it was probably like right up on the edge there.
Yeah.
That you could have just reached your hand in if you knew which rock to move. Bloop. Okay. Do.
That's it. The end. Mm-hmm. And then it tells you that you need to...
That you're on the wrong island.
Yeah.
Or
it tells you go to Frog Island.
Oh, that's funny.
All right, so that's all I got for my notes.
Let's see here.
You know what I think would be might be fun? I don't know. You guys tell me, the listeners, but I might copy and paste my notes for the show and put them on our Facebook page or maybe on our Patreon page as if anybody's interested in how I take the notes and how it all looks on my end, maybe they read it, right? I don't know.
Yeah, you mentioned doing it on the Patreon page. So maybe patrons, if that's something of interest.
I'll put the first one on Facebook just to see if anybody even cares. I mean, they might not even look at it and they might be like, yeah, good, yeah, cool. But
they could be uploaded as a document or something for those who want to go back and kind of
copy and paste. I don't know how to upload documents.
I know.
I just don't know how.
Uploading a document's a simple copy and paste.
Oh, okay.
I can teach you the ways of the internet, young Padawan.
I kind of like the ways I already know.
I know, because you're stubborn.
Yeah. That's fine. A little bit.
A little bit?
I'm a little bit stubborn sometimes.
A lot of it. You're a lot of bit stubborn.
Yeah. So I was just thinking about it. So that's my thought.
Yeah. Give us some feedback, yo. Okay. Know what we should do?
What?
We should talk about Clotworthy.
Stop. It's Clotworthy time.
Da-na-na-na-na-na-na.
Okay. All right. So
we need like a theme song entrance situation.
Oh yeah, like wrestling.
I was just thinking more like a bumper. When I say like, "What time is it?" Then you're like, "Oh, it's Clotworthy time." Na 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 na. I don't know. And
yeah, bumper.
Okay, for those of you that are new here, could it be an Oak Island podcast? Here, we have this thing called Clotworthy time.
Yeah, the
Clotworthy moments
of the week.
Robert Clotworthy is our fantastic narrator.
He's a could it be guy.
Mm-hmm. He's the voice of the show. The voice. Okay, so last week we had a conundrum.
Yep.
And we had to re-put up the prior week's
Clotworthy
moments for you guys to vote on.
Yeah, because I failed and I didn't put out a poll like I should have. My bad.
It's okay. We put it out. We had lots of votes on Twitter and Facebook.
Okay. And do you have a winner?
I do. Do you want to know who won?
Yeah, because I didn't look it up this week. So
I did.
It surprised me.
Ready?
Yes.
Sand packed inside a layer of clay. A silver tag.
Yeah, you heard that right.
Huh?
It tied exactly. Like,
is that possible?
I didn't think so.
Like 50-50? Like Twitter and Facebook?
Yeah, I went to Twitter. I went to Facebook. I double checked. I triple checked. I was like, no.
First time for everything.
So first we dropped the ball and didn't get it out soon enough. Then we sent it out to our fans to revote. So we just tied it. We just tied it up. I'd say we're kind of null. We're even now.
Nice. Well, right on. And then last week's Clotworthy moment. Did you have anything?
No, because we only had one.
And what was it? Axe cut wood.
Exactly.
Right?
Naturally.
And so axe cut wood wins.
We got some defaults.
Yeah. But this week we had a lot.
Oh my gosh.
It was all about the Clotworthies.
Because we only had one last week. He just kept giving them to me this week. I was like, okay, there's another. It was near impossible to pick one.
Okay.
Two. But I had to.
She did.
So I did.
All right.
So we have 2 to vote on this week. Are you ready?
I'm excited.
Okay, here's your first option.
Tunnels laid out in the shape of a cross.
It's pretty good.
You're welcome. That one felt right to me.
Okay.
Okay.
that was good. I like it. And maybe other people will too. What else you got?
A musket ball? Dating as far back as the 1700s?
Even though there wasn't a musket ball found, it felt ironic. But he was so excited about the musket ball that I figured it needs to be in there.
Okay.
So you either get a musket ball or tunnels in the shape of a cross.
Okay, those are your choices. Well, thanks for putting those together.
You are welcome.
All right, and if you want to vote on the Clotworthy moment of the week, go to www.facebook.com/OakIslandPodcast. And there will be that's our Facebook page, and there will be a post there with 2 choices for Clotworthy moments. Click on the one you like. How else can they vote?
They can also vote on Twitter. You just find us via our handle, which is @OakIslandPod.
Is that www.twitter.com/OakIslandPod? Will that work
too? Okay,
too?
Mr. Interwebs.
Will that work too?
That'll work too, but nobody puts WWW.
I do.
That's concerning. You really are stuck in the past. I really don't know what to...
I first used the internet like in 1995 or something, and I progressed like to 2003 or something around.
You are stuck right about
that's
there.
That's about where I stopped.
Yikes-os.
But I know how to Google and stuff.
I know how to Google and stuff. Wow, that's really special of you.
All right.
Wow. Okay, so where else can they find us? They can also find us on Instagram at OakIslandPodcast.
Yeah, they can email us at OakIslandPodcast@gmail.com. Didn't we get an email? I think we got an email.
We got an email?
Yeah, let me look real quick. Stall.
He's looking for an email that we are going to share with you guys. We love it when you reach out to us. Yeah, it's a good time. Had by all.
All right. Let's see. So we have an email from Jose.
Hi, Jose.
And he says, speaking of great detectorists, you really should check out Andy Stone and Lance Stater. Lance has a find in the British Museum, and Gary should know them. They're all great detectorists.
Have to look them up.
We'll have to look those guys up. Thanks, Jose.
Thank you.
I'm not sure who that is, but I mean, with a little bit of Googling, which I told you I know how to do.
You know how to Google. Look at that. I'm
are.
so proud of you.
Yeah, so thanks, Jose. Appreciate that. And the last thing is we have an Oak Island voicemail hotline.
We do.
And so you could call us and leave a voicemail, and we can, if you want, we can play it on the air and chat about it. We did that last week, right?
Yep.
So that was fun. If you want to leave us a voicemail, it is just call 360-836-4549. And then you could, then if you have an idea that you want out there to the world, throw it out there. Why not?
Throw it out there. If you specifically don't want it shared, also maybe say that in the voicemail.
Yeah, of course. So, that's good stuff. Do we have anything else? If you want to, we're going to be sending out the is it the last one?
Yes.
The last set of the first series of Oak Island trading cards, the Pirates, Knights, and Kings.
Oh my.
We're sending those out very soon to our patrons. So if you want to get on that list of people that we send these things to every month, go to www.patreon.com/OakIslandPodcast. And if you show us some support there, we'll send you these awesome trading cards every month. So
yep. It's like a subscription. You get your awesome trading cards.
And, you show your support for us. It's a win-win-win. And then we also are going to, literally we need 2 people. 2 people left before we hit the threshold to start creating bonus content. That it will be it's going to be fun, you guys. It's going to be really fun, really awesome podcasts that we're going to literally watch an episode of The Curse of Oak Island with y'all and do commentary through it. It's called a watch along. We're going to start season 1, episode 1, and it's going to be killer. So
it'll be a good time. Had by all.
Yeah. So if you wanted to support us on Patreon, now's a good time to do it. patreon.com/OakIslandPodcast.
Yes. And then don't forget Tuesday. We will see you for
The live stream.
Before our Oak Island pregame, if you will.
Yeah, so it'll be at 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and we're going to show off a little, we're going to reveal a little something fun.
Ooh,
at that time.
What's that?
Well, I can't tell them. It's a reveal.
Like give them a real hint.
Like a real hint? I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to give a hint. Have you guys seen the video we made last year that was a mashup of The Curse of Oak Island and Full House?
I'm sure they did. I'd be shocked if someone did.
I know like 50-some thousand people viewed it on YouTube or on Facebook, and only a couple thousand on YouTube. We're not like, YouTube is hit or miss, seems like, but you could go to those places and find our really awesome like mashup of The Curse of Oak Island and Full House. Like, it's really good. It's hilarious. And I'm not just saying that because we made it. Like, when we made it, we couldn't stop laughing. It was so good.
It was a real problem.
So we have something in that vein coming on Tuesday. Make its debut.
I'm a little nervous, though, because it's going to be hard for it to live up to that last one.
It is hard to live up to. If it doesn't, even if it's like not as good, it's gonna be as good. So just don't worry about it. Tune in and you'll enjoy it.
You'll enjoy it.
And that's at www.facebook.com/OakIslandPodcast.
www.
Yep.
All right. I think we're done here.
Are you sure?
I think so.
Got nothing else?
Nothing.
All right. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better.
I'm glad you're feeling better.
Yes.
So until next time.
Could it be?
Knocked me upside the head with a fish. I mean, it's just amazing. It's amazing. 1741 now?